Hello everyone, this is the Comedic Witch. I'm back with another video. So hopefully I'll be able to upload this video and get it out to you guys. So I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, mainly because I've been so busy with work. Also, I fell and I hurt myself pretty badly, so that's why I have not done a video. So I'm going to do my first movie review for this channel entitled Witch Hunt. And it was in the SX something film festival. I think it was last year or earlier this year. I don't know which. So it is one of those alternate reality or alternate universe type of stories where it's the same America, same events have happened, but it's different. So alternate Americas are really popular right now with a lot of people, unless you're talking about the show Confederacy, which never never launched. And it all depends on how comfortable you are with that particular alternate universe. Everybody liked The Man on the High Castle and stuff, but this is a movie that is set in the United States, and it is the only country that dedicates their resources to the execution of witches. Not just the execution of witches, but the interrogation of witches, the testing of witches, or suspected witches. So when I saw the trailer for, I saw the reviews later, the trailer for this movie, I was really intrigued by the idea that this was in America where literally people were being burned at the stake for something they're born with. That one guy creeped me out. He looked like he was getting looked like he was getting his rocks off watching this woman scream in pain. So the 11th Amendment in this movie to the United States, to the Bill of Rights, is basically an anti-right. So it doesn't go with the spirit of the Bill of Rights. It'd be more like in the Constitution, separate thing. But it's actually in the Bill of Rights, which is actually not a right. Basically that you cannot be a witch and practice witchcraft in America, which is why it's not a right. It doesn't go with the flow of the document, which is the only thing that kind of was kind of unsettling. The 11th Amendment actually deals with like citizens from other countries and stuff like that. I don't have my phone on, so not exactly, but I do know that it has something to do with citizens of other countries or something like that. So it opens up with the two definitions of the word witch hunt. The first definition was coined when the dictionary was first came out, and essentially it is defined as the persecution of women by authorities, or something to that effect. I know witch hunt is basically literally it's a persecution of people based on the fact that they are believed to be witches. The second one came out after the McCarthy era, and basically it is anyone that has a different viewpoint. You're persecuting them, and they have unorthodox beliefs and stuff. So you do a witch hunt and you root them out. That came after the McCarthy era. So you have the literal definition of a witch hunt. This is essentially what the United States has done. As I mentioned, they're essentially the only country that is committing wholesale genocide against their own people. They don't view witches as people that deserve any form of rights. So literally, it's free reign to commit as much wholesale genocide as you possibly can in your lifetime. But it is genocide. You are targeting one group of people in your society in hoping that by rooting them out and getting rid of them and getting rid of the cause of them being in existence, that your country will be safer. I did get a kick out of that mother's, like, they should build the wall higher. It sounded like something that a Trump supporter would say. They made to build it higher, because they could fly up top. Which was a funny moment. Like, they need to go higher, 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 higher. It's too low. It's too low. And it's kind of like, it's this fear of your own people. This is the clear definition of being a xenophobe. So you have this house, and by the way, if anybody cares to know, it is the same house used in Annabeth Creation, if anybody cares to know about that. And essentially the witches live in these walls, and they are there temporarily until somebody comes to pick them up and to get them across the border to Mexico, where they're still accepting refugees and giving them asylum. So people are fleeing America instead of going to America. And so it's literally, America is like literally the cesspit of genocide. They flat out don't care. They have an amendment that gives them full authorization to slaughter on a massive scale, as many people as they possibly can, and they just don't care. So, reviews for the movie, there was a couple that talked really nice about it, which was great. But then there was a couple that kind of irked me to like no end. Me, being a witch and everything myself, I was irked by this particular review. They're claiming that that there was no representation of people of color and Native Americans, and I kind of want to put a guess to that. Okay. So, for people that do not know about the great European witch hunts, they targeted one group in particular for execution. That was women. It didn't have a race or an ethnicity. It was a war on one segment of the population, and that was women. Sometimes men, but mostly women. Historians call the Great European Witch Hunts the war on women. So you have a society that is essentially committing a war on women. No race, no ethnicity needed. You don't need to put a pigmentation on these victims. These people are being targeted specifically for the fact is that they're women. Nothing else. No race, nothing. Just they're women. Women, these witches are being blamed for everything. They're one blamed the daughter of a convicted witch for killing her parents. Now you can understand, the girl that supposedly killed her parents is a woman. Her mother was probably burned at the stake. Her grandmother was probably burned at the stake. You get the theme here. So when we go and we put race, and we go and say, the only reason that we feel sorry for the children is because they're white. I would feel sorry for the children if they were people of color or if they were natives. I would still feel sorry for them because I've got a heart and I've got morals. And they tell me, feel sorry for victims of people that are murdered. And that's essentially what their mother was. Their mother was murdered because of what flows through her blood. But it's kind of it definitely had the creep factor. They had the dunking, like dunk the witch, and they actually had a pool that was specifically just for dunking women. But the difference is they're giving these breathing apparatuses, and apparently all the people there have to know how to swim. I do hope so, because you're essentially killing people. And then they have a gun, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just shoot these girls, and it was really unsettling, and I think that's the point. You got men with shotguns that are filled with salt pellets. They're not bullets in the traditional sense. They don't have gunpowder in them. They might have something that sends it, knocks it off, but it's filled with salt, and salt is supposed to be you're supposed to, no idea if this is even true. Because when we see the guy shooting this woman with his shotgun, we don't actually see if there's any kind of effect on her body, except for the fact that she's in a shit ton of pain. But it's a very unsettling and chilling type of movie, because you literally, as I said before, you literally have a government that is dedicated to wholesale genocide. But as one girl who reviewed the movie stated, that we're never told why witchcraft is so feared. We have no idea what made the founding fathers adopt this anti-Bill of Rights amendment. Heck, we don't even really know if the three girls, I said three girls, ever make it to Mexico safely. We just kind of stops. And we're kind of left wondering, did they get to Mexico? Are they safe? Because one of the girls has this wicked power. She can break walls, which would definitely come in handy if you're trying to escape and there's a line of salt. You just blast the wall off and then you just run through. And it's kind of interesting is there's this line of salt and then there's this break, which means it's large enough for a foot to go through. So apparently, well, also turn it back, if you're using your powers like that, it's going to kind of blow some of that salt away so you can get through. But there's no visual evidence that the salt even keeps witches out. It was just something they believed. But overall, it was a really great movie. I really enjoyed it immensely. It was definitely worth the $5.99 that I spent to rent it. And I don't agree with the assessment that they make about, it lacks representation. You're talking about the first minority group that was ever targeted for eradication by the church. And while they didn't succeed in eradicating every single woman in England or in Europe, they executed enough of them to make women be very fearful. So yes, these women do represent every single minority that's ever been persecuted, just for the fact is that they are the original. These are the same people that couldn't own property, couldn't vote, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. So they are the ultimate minority, just for the fact is that they were the first in history to be targeted for witchcraft by the church. So I will see you guys around next time. May you be happy, healthy, most importantly be safe, and held to the gods. Bye.